Welcome to Scan and Go training. Today we're going to look at getting your scanner set up and get you taking orders from your vendors. The first thing we want to look at is updates. Under our product orders menu we have our update link, and when we click on it the system will check for any available updates. Updates are important because this is how vendors send us information on new products, sale items, discontinued merchandise, etc. Evidently there are no updates available, so we can move on to the next step. In order to get a vendor into our system, we'll go to Product Orders, click on Accounts, and you'll see we have some accounts already in our system. In order to add a new vendor, we simply click on New. Find the supplier in the list that we want to be able to order from. We can scroll through the list, finding the correct vendor. Once we find the vendor, we can enter in the account number the vendor has supplied to us. And when we click OK, we'll be asked if we want to download the supplier's catalog. For this, we will click Yes. The catalog subscription process will then begin when we click on the Finish button. Now that we've subscribed to the catalog and set up an account, that vendor is now going to be available to us when we're ready to order merchandise from that vendor. Now that we have some vendors in our system, we want to load one or more catalogs onto our scanner. In order to do that, we'll select the Scanner tab. Opening up the scanner menu, we will select Synchronize, and we'll be prompted to press the Hot Sync button. The Hot Sync button is located on our scanner cradle, and it has two orange arrows on it pointing opposite directions from one another. Now that the hot sync has completed, we have four options. At this point, three of those options are grayed out. So option 2, load catalogs and open orders to the scanner, is what we're going to select. We can select one or more vendors to load onto our scanner. We can click Next and then confirm our selections with the Finish button. We'll once again be prompted to press the hot sync. And once the hot sync completes, the vendor catalogs are on our scanner. Once the scanner beeps 3 times, that indicates that we can pull our scanner up out of the cradle. And now we're going to look at some of the scanner settings. On the scanner, we see that there is an icon that looks like a house. When we tap on that, we'll be taken to the home page of our scanner. Alphabetically situated in the list on the home page is our scanner icon, and when we tap on that, we'll be taken to a menu of scanner functions. The first item in the list is ordering, which is what we're going to tap on. And on the screen we should see that our catalogs are on the scanner. But before we look at the catalogs, let's look at the Defaults button directly above. When we tap on the Defaults button, our default scan field should be set to Order. Below our default scan field are 2 additional settings. We can use one or the other of those settings, or neither of those settings, but we cannot use both of those settings at once. The Auto Addition function will allow us to add additional merchandise to a product that we have already scanned with our scanner. The Increment Quantity on Scan function will do 2 things. The first thing it'll do is when we scan an item, instead of a default quantity of 0, we'll have a default quantity of 1. The second function increment quantity on scan will turn on is our ability to scan an item multiple times, and with each scan, a quantity of 1 will be added to our order. At this point, you can select one or the other, or neither of those functions, and then tap on the exit button at the top right-hand corner of your scanner screen to back up to our list of vendors. When we're ready to take an order from one of our vendors, we highlight the vendor and tap on the scan button at the bottom right of the screen. The scanner will tell us that it is ready to scan, and we can go out onto the floor and begin the process of scanning merchandise. When we scan an item, the scanner will tell us a variety of things about that item. When we scan an item, the name of the item will appear at the top of the screen, and above the number 1 on the number pad will be the item's status. The most common status for an item is order. That simply means the item is a regular priced item that you'll be ordering from your vendor. There are other statuses, however. The status of sale indicates that the product is on sale from the vendor, and when you take your stylus and tap on the word sale, a new menu opens up that describes the terms of the sale, how long the sale lasts, pricing information, and if there are any minimum purchase requirements in order to get the sale price. Once you've reviewed that menu, you can use the exit button to back up to the screen where you scanned the item. The next status you'll encounter is the status of price. The status of price indicates that the vendor has recently changed the price of the item, and that'll be important for you to know in the event you need to adjust the price of that product on your store shelves. The next status you may encounter is discontinued. Discontinued is represented by DISC. When you scan discontinued merchandise, you can request a quantity of that merchandise, although since it's discontinued, there's no guarantee you're going to actually get any of the merchandise from the vendor. Another status you'll encounter is the status of new. The status of new indicates that the product has recently been added to the vendor's catalog. And the last status you're going to encounter is LN Deal. The LN Deal indicates that the product and the vendor have made an arrangement with Living Naturally to offer only our scanner subscribers exceptional pricing on the merchandise they buy for their store. The LN Deal status works very much like the sale status in that you can tap on the LN Deal, a new menu will open up, and you'll be able to review the terms of the deal. Once you've reviewed that menu, again use the exit button to back up and enter in a quantity of merchandise you wish to order. In the left column on your scanner, the first item is the word order. This indicates how many products you have requested. The front and back count are for use with the predictive ordering function on the scanner. The minimum indicates the minimum purchase required from the vendor. Your previous order count will tell you how many of this product you ordered the last time you created an order for this vendor. And the pre-inventory count will give inventory information about the product. The function buttons, Tag, Detail, and UPC, can also be used during the course of creating an order. The Tag button will request a shelf tag from the scanner system. The Detail button will give additional information about the product that you've scanned. It'll give vendor and brand information, pricing information, and at the very bottom, the scanner will display up to the last 6 times you ordered this product, when you ordered it, and how much you ordered. Once you've reviewed the item detail, use your exit button to back up to the item that you scanned. The UPC button will allow you to enter in a UPC code manually. You simply tap on UPC, enter in the 12-digit UPC code, and then when you tap on Look Up UPC, the item will appear on the screen and you can request a quantity for order. Below those function buttons is your cost information. The scanner will tell you how much the merchandise costs, as well as how it's being sold to you, whether it's being sold to you in case quantities or individually. At the very bottom, you have your total, which will give you a real-time view of how much you're spending with this vendor. Once we've gone through our store and scanned all the merchandise we wish to order from our vendor, we can take our scanner and, leaving the scanner on the last item we scanned, put the scanner back in the cradle. In order to get our order off of the scanner and into our software, we'll once again go to our scanner menu and select Synchronize. We'll once again be prompted to press the Hot Sync button on the cradle. Once again, the data transfer dialog box appears, and you'll see now that all four options are available to us. In a moment, we're going to select option 1, which will unload orders and catalogs from the scanner. You'll recall to begin the ordering process, we used option 2, where we loaded catalogs onto the scanner. Option 3 will allow us to do two things during one hot sync. We'll be able to unload orders off of the scanner and then load new catalogs onto the scanner. And option 4 tells us we can unload all the orders from the scanner but leave the catalogs in place. Option 4 is not recommended because if your catalogs are on the scanner, they don't receive the all-important updates. Let's go ahead and select option 1. And at this point we can select one or both of the orders we want to get off of our scanner. In this case, we'll select our Jarrow Formulas order, select Next, and then confirm our selection with Finish. Once again, we'll be prompted to hit the Hot Sync button. Once the hot sync completes, the catalog and the order are taken off the scanner, and they're now in our scanner software. In order to find the order that we just got off of our scanner, we go to Product Orders and select Purchase Orders, and you'll see that we have our Jarrow Formulas order on the screen. Any orders that are open will be in this view, as well as any vendors we have loaded onto our scanner. Once we highlight the vendor, we'll be able to look at each item that we have in our order. If we're satisfied with the order, it doesn't need any editing or any changing, we can simply come over to our Orders menu in the Actions column, click on Submit Selected Orders, and the order will be taken out of our software and transmitted to the vendor. If, however, we realize we need to make some changes to our order, we can add or delete merchandise from the order by simply coming to our Items menu, and when we select Add Item, the vendor's catalog will be opened. We'll be able to look through the catalog. We'll be able to sort by brand, or we can look at the entire catalog, and we can then review the items in the catalog. Items that we wish to select, we simply put a check mark in the box, You'll notice some items have a gray box next to them. This indicates that these are products we have ordered from the vendor previously. Once we've selected our products, we could come over and select Close and Add Selected Items, and those items will be then added to our order. Using this method, we have to be aware that the quantity will be set at 0, so in order to receive merchandise from the vendor that we have added this way, we have to click on the 0, and keeping in mind our minimum purchase requirement in the column to the right, enter in a quantity to order. Once we reset the quantities for that merchandise, we will also get a new total for our order. Another method of adding merchandise to an order is to use the function Add Item by UPC or SKU. When we click on that function, we can select the number we wish to use, type that number into the item number text box, and at this point we can set the quantity for that merchandise. That way we won't have to come back to the order later and adjust the quantity. Once I click the Add button, that product will be added to the order with the quantity already set. The situation may arise where you may realize you need to delete an item from your order. Once you find the order in the order list, you'll highlight the row that that item is on, and again in the items menu, select Delete the selected item, and once you confirm you wish to delete the item, it will be taken out of the order and your cost of the order will be adjusted accordingly. Once you've got your order the way you want it, you can submit it to your vendor using Submit Selected Orders. Before I go, there are some additional features that I wish to point out. Going back to my home menu, I'm going to my Help tab and select Technical Info. When the Technical Info dialog box opens up, obviously there's technical information in here, but the important thing that we want to look at is the Perform Database Defragment. This is something that users should do about every month because it keeps the data neatly organized and the system running at top performance. You can also access any updates from this view as well by clicking on Updates in the Check for Updates Now area. Once you've completed all you wish to do with your scanner, you can simply use the Exit button and exit out of the system. That's our Scan and Go training for today. Thank you for watching.